They were the images that led a global audience to help Ethiopia. Those who work in the developing world now describe images like these as poverty porn. At Dublin Castle today, they were examining ways of changing with the times and not exploiting those who live in the developing world. Samuel Mohochi is Chevening Scholar at the University of Ulster.
The situation in Africa 20 years ago is not the situation in Africa today. There's a lot of positive work that has been going on in Africa, which is deliberately not aired, so to speak, and which, if it was aired, then it will inform the public better to really question the role which developmental actors are playing in Africa and how they can do it better.
Coverage of the World Cup in South Africa is seen as being an exception. The challenge for those working in this area is to move from the suffering to the bigger picture. Eamon Casey represents the non-governmental organisation umbrella group DOCUS.
It's this complex thing about trying to get NGOs to look at how they do things, trying to get the media to look at how they do things, and ultimately trying to get the public to look at what kind of stories is it that you're really interested in. Are you interested in the human lives of the people involved? Or are you interested in how stricken they are or how terrible their lives are? And I think with a little bit of prompting, the public is interested in positive stories.
Ireland's demographics have changed since Live Aid, and the portrayal of these developing nations now has a greater impact here. The coordinator of the Africa Centre is Eric Yao.
It will help in the perception of people. When they see you on the street, they won't see you just as an asylum seeker. They won't see you as somebody who's sponging off the state. Because you look across the medical system, hospitals and so on, you see there are lots of African medical doctors. There are lots of African professionals across the spectrum. And these are people who are paying taxes, these are people who are doing the right thing, and these are people who are also contributing to the development of Ireland. So I think we have contributed a great deal. Well, I think people need to begin to see Africa as a continent. The continent has about 57 countries, and if you go through country by country, some may need overseas assistance, but some actually would need business opportunities. You look at countries like South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria. These countries may be looking at trade. There are a lot of development projects going on in these African countries, and these are construction work. So the Irish construction industry is going down. The government could look at the possibility of negotiating with these African governments, and then these companies can go down because these are EU-funded projects, and they take on the contracts, they do them, and they can repatriate their profits back to Ireland. It will help the economy, and at the same time, they'll be creating jobs back there in Africa.
Bringing about change in the way they get their message across is a difficult task for those working in the field, but one they know is important. Anthony Murnane, RTÉ News, Dublin Castle.